Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If I may, I would like to ask why we're being videoed.
Sorry?
I'd like to ask why we're being videoed. Just for...
It's under my rights under the Pennsylvania Sunshine
Well,
Act.
I mean, just what's it for? Who are you?
I don't have to identify myself under the protections of the Pennsylvania Sunshine Act.
Oh, you can't,
right now, then.
you can't tell us who you are?
He doesn't have to.
Oh, okay, I'm just asking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Call this meeting adjourned then.
What?
Call the meeting adjourned then.
No, why?
We don't have a... We're not...
It's,
I don't
it's
care.
workshop.
Not an open meeting.
If somebody comes in here, I think they ought to have the decency to tell us why they're here. Everybody else in this room would.
He's right.
Okay. All right. Well, August 27, 2019, it's our workshop. Roads and roadmaster updates. Cleary Road slide.
McCleary Road slide is complete. It is still not seeping to the other side. It's nice and dry. All we have to do is build the other side back up where the material slid away from the road. And the tar and chip, we have one more distributor to go, and then we are completed with it. Sharon.
Where's it going?
It's going to Chapman Road and the farm road in front of the house down here. There's so much dust down there that if we get, whenever the trucks start in spring, it's going to be pretty bad on those houses. So we've done it once before and it's broken up, so we'll do it again. Well, anyways, Sharon Drive, Ron Wilkerson, I talked to him yesterday, and he was down there, they were down there cleaning the material out of downstream. Jim Shaner was down there with him, and then he said that he feels he will be completed with that job tomorrow afternoon. In front of the...
May I ask a question?
Sure.
Are we to clean the upstream side, correct?
We are to clean below the pipe and in front of the pipe and the intake and the outlet. That is our jobs. Not what they're cleaning up is the material that they lost whenever the flooding occurred from the temporary road that they had. It all went downstream, and according to DEP and DCNR, they have to take care of that.
We had two phone calls today too, just from residents living on Sharon Drive, just curious as to what was going on.
Well, that was one. Did you tell them? You knew, right? So, okay. Ron had looked for some quotes for a new single axle truck. It'll be up for discussion off and on probably for the next month and a half. I'm going to guess. We'll look at the supervisor will look at the specs on it and the quotes. He's going to get a price on the bid, and then we'll just go from there.
You talking about a dump truck pickup?
Single axle. Single axle.
10 ton burden.
We had discussed this probably about 6 months ago at the meetings, and anyways, Ron's looking into the pricing of it now.
I saw an OSL quote here, wherever it went. Do they have that truck out there?
They got something similar to it out there. Same
Sometime
body
I'll
style.
look and see what it is.
But they said, he told me that, of course, Hunter's was the other quote. They said if you ordered it today, it probably wouldn't, the truck itself wouldn't be in until April, March. And then another 30 to 45 days is what this other one said. From the time they get it, to build the bed, put the hydraulics on and everything else.
Yeah, it takes a while, you know.
So it's probably a good 6 months out anyhow.
If you order one.
whenever you order
Yeah,
it, another 6 months.
yeah, it takes a while, it just doesn't happen overnight unless you go to the lot and say, I'll take that one.
Yeah.
And we've never done that before, so I don't think it'll ever. Except for 1 tons or 550s, you know, they're right there. But still, you have to get a bid on them too, and the hydraulics, so they still take a while.
And these are all through co-stars.
Yeah. The salt order through CoStar, yeah, so we really don't have to bid 3 bids because it's through CoStar. CoStar has already done that work for us. So, you know, we can just go with whomever, as long as they're in a CoStar.
They are kind of close, they're only within $800, little over 800 for the truck.
Yeah,
But there's the 2 quotes that I have right now for the bed and the hydraulics. That's snowplow, Niagara spreader, V-box.
The Glen Hill?
They're a couple miles apart. But I'm getting one tomorrow. He's coming down. I'm gonna tell him everything we're looking for, and I'll even show him some of these. If he wants to get some specs out of them.
okay. Salt orders, we have to order the salt, at least our first shipment, by October 1st, because we went through CoStar. Again, the salt in Pennsylvania, this end of Pennsylvania, Beaver County, is the highest across the state. We're down lower than last year. Last year was $109 per ton. This year's it's $80 and something per ton. But we're it's still higher than any other county in Pennsylvania. Why? I don't know. That just is. I mean, even Lawrence and Findlay and or not Findlay, but Lawrence and Allegheny, and we're still higher than they are, even though they are our neighbors. So, and the guys are doing an outstanding job on mowing. They have been mowing Township property, they have been mowing the roads. They're just doing a great job. So.
I've gotten a lot of compliments on your one-arm mowing.
Me too.
So great job. So that's all I have on Roadmaster, unless somebody else has any more questions.
Parks and Recreation, that's usually Brian, but we can fill in what's needed here. The comfort station toilets, the water issues, the handicap sign, and the lines need done to finalize the grant. So.
Does everybody know what's going on there? With the water issues with the toilets down there?
Just the iron in the water you're talking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The cleaning people are having trouble. They can't get that one side to come clean at all. She said it just keeps getting worse.
Tell them to put a package of Kool-Aid in. Let it sit overnight.
Yeah, Kool-Aid? Really?
Kool-Aid.
Never.
Or come out sparkly clean.
I will never drink Kool-Aid again.
Oh, I'll tell you.
Unsweet thing?
Yeah, just regular Kool-Aid, no sugar.
Now, the handicap sign and the lines for the handicap parking, that needs done. That has to be finished. I need to close that grant out. They are emailing me. It has to be done by the end of the year. She's wanting it
The
within like the next
handicap
week or
sign
two.
is no problem. I gotta make the stencil for the,
And I have the specs for that. I don't know if you have the specs for that or not, but I have the specs for that. She sent those to me. She's wanting to get that grant closed out as soon as possible.
Would Jack and Biv possibly have a stencil for that, because they painted the ones at the restaurant?
The line part.
That's a good idea.
I have to check with them.
I don't know how big they're. She said the lines between the 2 parking spaces. I think the van accessibility. Please don't quote me on this. I think it's 11 feet for the van side, and then 5 feet for the lines in between. And then she said the other one doesn't have to be.
This one out here should be the same, shouldn't it?
No. She said this one is it's a full parking spot where the lines are. She said it doesn't have to be. She said the lines, the part where the lines are, only needs to be 5 feet wide.
Oh, okay.
And she said the other spot, because he painted 2 handicap things, she said the other parking spot does not necessarily have to be handicapped. You really only need, they would be happy with 1. She said, and then if in the future you wanted to put more in, you could. She said, but for now, if you don't have the width
I got 2 blue bumpers.
to do 2 handicap spaces, then she said 1 would suffice.
You already have it painted, so you might as well leave it.
Yeah.
Right?
And I got 2,
Yeah, but
two blue bumpers.
if you don't have the width for
Yeah,
it,
you might have to.
because the, what do they call that, where the side they get out on where the lines are, the unloading zone, you might not have enough width to do 2 loading zones.
If we don't, we can
Yeah,
Yeah.
grind it off.
Yeah,
No big deal.
that's all I have for that.
That's a water-based paint anyway, so even if you took the pressure washer down, it would pressure wash off.
you know, squirt a little something on it.
Yeah.
Soften it.
Cool.
It's really not that hard to make a stencil either, because I made a stencil for this one on here because I didn't have it.
Yeah, but you had something to go by. There was partially lines there. There's nothing down there.
We have the handicap stencil. We don't have the line stencil.
We didn't have a stencil for the lines when the Boy Scouts did it.
Yeah, he just did it by hand. He just
Did it by
used,
hand.
he used vanilla.
Okay, I see.
Yeah. Cardboard.
Yeah, he just used basic cardboard.
Okay.
Yeah,
Did something.
Pumping of the septic. We know where that's at, we have measurements. That is on the list of things to do before the end of fall. So that will get done. Pricing for internet for the remote door lock and unlock capabilities.
Did you get that price?
Glenda, would you like to talk about that?
Yeah, just today, when I chatted with somebody from Comcast for just having the minimum megabytes per second internet down there just to work the locks, and that's it. And it's $86.90 a month. There's an installation fee, and it varies depending on how long you lock in your contract. So $87 a month plus tax, not tax, but like the fees that they add on top of that. Probably right around $100 a month to have internet down there.
And the locks themselves are right around $200 a piece.
Yeah, piece.
And I also emailed, Frank Polito used to be our Comcast government liaison. He is no longer there. He gave me a number when he retired for Mark DePettis. The last 2 emails I sent him have come back that he is not there indefinitely. And he gave me another email for another woman, and she has not answered me. So,
Well, how about the gentleman that has the cameras here?
turnkey, is that what they're still called? Turnkey? They changed their name a couple
Could
times.
he give us a price? And
Wayne, that's his name.
could he give us a price?
For Comcast?
No. For
For
the
the
locks.
locks.
Possibly. Have you talked to Wayne about that at all? I don't know if he does that or
He's so
not.
high on everything.
Yeah. Because you got prices for different locks, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Different.
Can you
Yeah.
not use the DSL and come off of that?
I don't know.
I've got
I have
DSL,
not
I've got
talked-
DSL, so you should be able to bring DSL out there and it's gotta be cheaper now.
I have not talked to Comcast. Glenda has been talking to them.
Yeah, physically.
Verizon will
Is
give
there
you
a telephone
DSL.
line to that building down there?
There used to be.
Well, then you have DSL.
There used to be.
Yeah, you can get DSL, it's gotta be cheaper than that. Because I can get DSL when that goes down, I don't know how much.
That's why we haven't done anything yet, because we think that's awful expensive for 2
It is.
locks.
My total
Yeah.
bill with the DSL will be about $70 with a phone, with a landline.
But those locks work off of an app, correct?
Yes. And it needs to have Bluetooth or Wi-Fi capability, so we need Wi-Fi in order to get the signal here, the information to transmit to the app here in order to lock and unlock and do the settings on it. There's gonna have to be Wi-Fi. If that's the route we wanna go.
Would DSL cover that? I don't know.
It gives you internet, that's all I can tell you. That's all I know.
I'll have to do a little more.
I'll have to ask them, yeah. we'll do a little more checking and maybe have more for you at the meeting.
All right, thank you. Buildings and grounds, the renter's request to waive a half-month rent for August. And where that comes from, back when the rental house had electrical issues, he was gonna do a lot of the inside work himself with the drywall and a lot of the other stuff. We had a licensed electrician do the electrical work, but he was gonna do the repairs for the drywall and such. And
I would say,
back then,
we need to inspect it before we approve it.
yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
Well, that's why we thought maybe we put it on here and then.
Yeah.
But that was agreed to back, I think that was probably back in about March or something.
No.
Or was that in the fall?
Yeah, that was November?
I'm sorry, I was listening.
When Kelly, his electric and him fixing the drywall and all that was November, right?
Yeah, it was, he said it was spring, early this year.
That he actually did it.
Yeah, they actually did the work.
Well, I think we need to inspect it before we approve it.
Okay. Well, we're not gonna approve it tonight anyway.
Right.
Okay, and the renter's request for professional quarterly water testing.
I priced, we had put that ultraviolet light on the water here because of some of the water testing that had come back in June of 17. And I don't think we had it tested after we put the ultraviolet light on. So I talked to CMA today over in Beaver, and he said for $24 a month, if you wanted to do it monthly or quarterly, however you wanted to do it, they would test for E. coli and which one goes along with that? Coliform bacteria for $24 a month. For $48 more a month, they would test for nitrate and nitrite. But he said the nitrate and nitrite he usually recommends to residential homeowners with children because the nitrate and nitrite seem to affect children more. That's what he told me.
Those tests only be done once a year.
They don't come out and get your sample. You have to take the sample to them. But he said Campbell's in Brighton will come out and take the sample.
Campbell's will come get your sample
Yeah.
for $15 and they charge about $25 roughly.
So you're still at $25 a month even though it's quarterly?
No, $24 a month if you want to do it monthly,
Monthly.
and then if you want to do it quarterly, it's
It's
only
just-
cost you
okay.
$24 for quarter.
You don't need monthly for that.
Okay,
No,
all right.
especially when we have an ultraviolet
Yeah,
on it.
but you call Doug Campbell and tell him what your key is. He's down here every month anyway doing restaurants and the church and everything.
Oh, okay.
So he'd let him pick out one.
Did you get that name?
Doug Campbell. Thanks, Donna.
I don't know, I think if we're gonna start going through all this, I don't know, maybe we ought to start discussing not renting.
Well, the water testing would not only be for there, it's for here.
Well, they're two different fees.
I know, but I don't know if you would want to test the water out here because there's only, the ultraviolet doesn't cover the hose
Right.
in the garage. So you would maybe want to test there and here.
Or you consider it a public water supply?
Pardon me?
Is this considered to be a public water supply?
Yes. I'm talking about the renter's place.
I understand that, but I don't think you have to test every month for what you're doing here. Is what I'm clear.
No, he said that too.
Okay, you don't have to do that kind of testing. You could probably test once a year. You don't have any liabilities here because you're not running a public water system like a restaurant or a church or a fire.
Correct. But public, meaning people coming in, but as far as that goes, the only thing they do is wash their hands. They don't use it for coffee or drinking or...
But we'll use it for washing dishes. And you don't know what.
I'm not talking about here, I'm talking about the renter. The renter, this says renter's request. You're talking about two different things here.
I'm sorry.
I'm talking about one thing, you're talking about another. You're talking about the
We're
public
talking
access.
about both things.
Okay, I thought
Sorry.
we was talking about the
Sorry,
renter.
I was talking about both things, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's all.
So would you wanna have it tested here and there? That's the question.
Well, if this Doug Campbell comes in, or if we get it tested here at the same time, they might as well test it there. But if we have water issues, is what I mean. If there's big water issues, the best thing to do is just stop renting, correct?
That's up to you guys.
Well, you,
It may lead to that.
okay, well, that's all I got to say about it. I would say, you know, call Doug Campbell if he's out this way getting the restaurants. He could just test here at the same time if the price is less than this one.
Well, if it's 15 for me to come out and he charges around 25, it's gonna be more. But if you're only gonna do it once a year or however often you need to do it, it's either way.
It's a lot easier than you taking the sample and hoping you take the sample correctly, by the way.
Correct.
Yeah, because he said you'd be better off to come and get, it's like a 4-ounce bottle
Right.
with a preservative tablet in it, and you would come get that, and then you would have to keep it on ice and take it to,
I'm with Myron, if he's here, just let him do
And
it.
you have to.
Because whoever takes it up is
The
gonna,
faucet that you use has to be flamed, you have to understand, you have to kill the bacteria that's at the faucet and so on. So you're better off letting those people take the sample, that way it's consistent.
I'll call Doug.
Okay, administrative office. 2 quotes for 2 new computers.
We received a quote from MG Soft. They are typically our IT people that come over and take care of our computers when something goes awry. And we also received one from RA Services. They are our accounting software folks. That's who we bought our last computers off of. When you add everything together, the 2 laptops, the Microsoft Home and Business 2019, docking station, labor, they're pretty close in price. We have not decided which one of the 2 of them we want to go with. We're kind of leaning towards MG Soft.
So what kind of scary prices have you got?
It's about $3,000 per for everything. With all inclusive.
So
About
about
$3,000 per
$6,000.
computer. About $6,000. Yeah.
what did we budget for?
I think we budgeted for 2,000. I don't remember.
Big difference.
Yes.
Does that include all your software, the software updates for your current software? Your Quicken software? Are you gonna have to update your Quicken software because you're gonna go to a Windows 10?
We don't have Quicken.
I thought you had Quicken.
We have RA Services.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. We talked about it.
I
Go
thought
to
you
it.
were
Yeah.
calling
Yeah.
Quicken.
RA Services made some current updates, and we like it a little better. It works a little better than it did before. No, that was my train of thought. What RA Services, the accounting software folks have talked about, and MG Soft has also talked about, we want to go to laptops back here and have one tower that we both talk to. Instead of right now, my computer is the main computer, and her computer can't get to accounting unless my computer is on. If we have one processor, my computer doesn't even have to be on for her to be able to get to stuff. So, we've talked about doing that also. And I think that's probably the better option. That also costs money. MG Soft recommends that we possibly use one of the towers that we already have for that. RA Services says, no, they want us to get a new one. I don't know enough about the IT end of it to answer that question, because we both have had trouble with our towers. And mine last year got a new fan and a new hard drive put in it. Was that last year? Year before last?
Year before last.
No. It crashed year before last. This year I had to have a new hard drive put in it. So we're kind of leaning in the direction of possibly a new one, but that's a lot of money to put into a new tower. So we need to talk to Tammy a little bit more.
Okay.
All right, record retention update, temperature control and dehumidifier for records room, or remove the water tanks and move the records to the furnace room. I'd say we should put a dehumidifier in there. And Hanover's building a $1.2 million building over there.
Mhm.
I think
They're
they should
supposed
get
to,
their records out of our room.
well, we have an appointment with them, the 11th or the 12th.
We have 2 days set aside.
2 days set aside to, and they're gonna come down while we're down there, because we're gonna do retention on our records. And I talked to a company today, she emailed me, I'm sorry? Iron City, yeah. She emailed me, or she called me today, Glenda, after you left. I don't think I copied that right back here.
Here, I have it.
She gave me some prices for record retention. You give you records and they take them and destroy them for you, and we're gonna have a lot.
Don't they bring,
They take them to a secure facility. The documents are shredded both vertically and horizontally, then rinsed for ink removal. Paper will then be recycled into everyday paper products, such as paper towels, toilet paper. Once the documents have been destroyed, you are sent a formal certificate of destruction. To do 50 boxes, the first 50 boxes would be $429. If you happen to go over that, it's $5 for each additional box. The only other cost to us would be a fuel surcharge, because we're tax exempt.
Do we have 50 boxes?
I would say yes.
I would say 50 or more, yeah. Because most of what is in the records room itself, a lot of it can be gotten rid of. Most of our permanent records, I won't say all of them, I can't speak for stuff that was put in boxes before our time yet. But most of stuff that we have to keep forever is here in our locked
Yeah.
fireproof cabinets, or fireproof cabinets.
so is there not trucks that, there's companies that go around with a truck?
That's who they are. They're one of those companies.
Okay.
They come and they take your records, and then they take them. They have several like satellite places, and they're out of Pittsburgh.
Well, no, they have a truck, they have a shredder on the truck.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, some of them do.
And you can
Yes.
keep your shreddings.
Yes, some of them do.
Keep the
Yes.
shreddings and then
This is just the one,
Light 'em.
the first one we've talked to.
why pay to
I'm gonna call back today.
get rid of them? Light them and then you know they're
For
gone.
429,
429.
by the time they take their time to sit there and shred them, you pay more than
No,
$429.
no, the truck shreds them.
But they are going to charge you to do that.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if
They're
you're worried
in charge,
about,
yeah.
Right. This is just the first company we've talked to. They haven't called back today.
Okay.
you know, tell them to leave the shreddings and light it, it'll go up like a big puffball.
That way they're on our site somewhere.
Yeah, and then you know they're destroyed. Okay. I gotta say, I don't know what an MMO is.
MMO is the minimum municipal obligation to PMRS pension, the Pennsylvania Municipal Retirement System pension. And every year we have to figure out what our payroll is going to be next year for anybody who is, the township pays into PMRS for, that would be our full-time employees. I have to figure out, there's 5 of us, what those 5 employees will make for the year. And we take in 10%, so it would be 10% of wages, plus their $200 or $250 fee that they charge for managing it. And I have to send that into PMRS. I have to send that in, and it has to go through a meeting, so that'll be going through the September meeting.
Okay.
All right. Next is ag security.
Yeah, ag security is due. We're to the point now of, Planning Commission has put it on their agenda for next month. I need for you to be at that meeting, Mike, because you're the supervisor for the ag security board. And once they do that, then the hearing is set for October 1st.
What's the September date?
The ag security,
Your planning commission
the
meeting.
planning commission meeting.
What,
The ag security has to be done every 7 years. You either opt in or opt out of it. And it has to go to the county, and it has to go through the planning commission and the ag security board here. So it goes through our planning commission and our ag security board and the county, and then we have a hearing at our October meeting,
What's the date of the October meeting?
the 1st.
October 1st, okay.
And most people that are already in it usually stay in it. I haven't really heard anybody saying they want out.
Yeah, you sort of have to catch up with people who subdivided and.
We have 5 subdivisions within the last 7 years that would fall within that, and I have not heard anything from anybody, so. I have one that wants in, so that'll be a review.
And we'll have the people from
The
the
county.
county ag security people will be at that planning commission meeting,
Correct.
our next meeting. We'll have them as agenda. I mean, we'll be the agenda. Okay.
All right. Zoning and code enforcement.
I have one thing, Mr. Redmond on Silver Slipper Road, I did not know he passed away. Did anybody else know that?
It's been a while.
Yeah, that's what I heard, it's been a while. It's been longer, I know, than 6 months, because,
The guy that lived in the swamp?
no, across the road from there.
Well, he's got the upper
Yeah, he's
swamp.
got the upper swamp. Anyways, I'm going to say it was Mr. Redmond's son, is renting that out to a friend of his. And there's at least 3 junk cars there. Now, if they're registered or not, I would say that's Eileen's job, so I can either message her or you guys can message her.
We have some updates from her too. Glenda just went to get them. She emailed us back today.
Okay.
I'll have them here.
And she might want to go back to Cullen Drive.
That's on her update.
Okay.
We asked her for some updates on some stuff.
And how about,
I believe junkyards are
Jim
on there.
Jim
Jim
Moore?
Moore is on there. No, I think I remember. We asked her about junk cars at Barnhouse on Collin Drive. She said she stopped at Collin Drive and was advised the vehicles were being removed. I responded to her, I don't have that one in my hand, but I responded back to her and told her that, to keep us updated on her visits there to see if they're being removed. The 8 cars at Jim Moore's inspection station, she said she needs to visit Jim Moore again, and he's in no hurry to remove the vehicles. My response to her was, I asked her how many times she has told him, and that maybe it's time to send him a letter. How long does she inspect junkyard? Does it take her to inspect junkyard? She said the actual junkyard inspection takes 5 to 10 minutes, and then time to fill out paperwork. She was asked about a zoning issue. And she said she still has to do a site. I don't know what zoning issue that was.
Is that the Brian's question that he had?
Yes.
Because he said he hadn't heard back from her.
He just said he left her a message a while ago about a zoning issue he had. She said she got his voicemail and she still needed to do a site visit. I don't know what that's for. That was between her and Brian. She also, I asked her if she had any other ongoing things, and she said about, oh gosh, there was another email, Linda, about more stuff that was going on.
The letter from Ron Hall, she was waiting on that to say that he was no longer running the 2 businesses.
That's right.
And
The house on 30.
yes. Yeah, she was waiting on paperwork for that.
I think that was it.
All right, thank you.
All right, planning, 5-year, 10-year committee.
You don't have anything?
I don't have anything.
Yeah, 5 to 10 was just what we put up down at the fair.
Yes, and that was nice.
Very nice.
Very
And it's still down there, guys, because the antique tractor show is coming, so that's still available if anybody wants to see it. We did have Chase put one of his posts that he's putting around the property
Okay.
down there, so you can see that.
Planning commission update?
We did not have a meeting, we didn't have a quorum this month, so we'll be all geared up for the ag security in September.
All right. All right, meetings, important dates, etc. Budget dates, Thursdays, the 10th, 17, and 24.
Yeah, we're looking for budget dates. These are just suggestions. I tried to make it so that it was the middle 3 weeks of October, so that we didn't have to hold 3 meetings the first week, 3 meetings the last week. Because the last week of October, there was Emergency Services Board on Monday, workshop on Tuesday, and then if we hold another meeting, that would put 3 meetings that week. The first week we have the regular meeting. I think there's something else on the calendar too on Thursday for the meeting room. Stockman's Club, maybe?
So you're thinking those dates for our first
workshop.
meeting?
For
our
budget
first?
workshops.
No, that's 3 dates for all of them.
Yeah, but I mean, okay.
No. So
But I mean,
October-
for our first budget meeting, because we usually have.
I'm
a
sorry, that
couple.
says budget dates, budget workshop, those are for the budget workshops.
We usually have at least 2
Yes.
workshops.
Well, I gave 3 dates, those were Thursdays, I made sure that the building was open for those Thursdays. We did them all in October last year. I'm afraid if I back it up any further, it's gonna put too many things in 1 week. And I know you guys, the way you guys do work, that makes it hard.
So worst case scenario, what if one of those got bumped into, I mean, because we're figuring on at least 2 dates, correct? We usually always have 2.
Usually at least, yeah.
So what if one of
I'm
those
feeling
just
really
happened to
well
get into
this year.
November? That's not a,
I'm sorry.
what if one of them happened to bump into November? Is that a big deal?
No, as long as we have we would like to have the budget adopted by the first meeting in December.
Okay.
Because you have to.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think we did it in 2 meetings last year.
Mhm.
We usually have it pretty, usually have your input and try to have it pretty ready for you to make changes.
Well, last year was hard to stretch. I wonder how hard the dollar's going to be to stretch this year. Because last year was tough.
Yes, it's gonna be harder this year.
Well, when we get those dates figured out, I'll tell you a couple of people I'd like to see there. I'd like to see Ron Coord there. I'd like to see him at the meeting.
Did he retire?
He retired.
Okay, I'd like to see his
Larry.
replacement.
Larry and his other brother Larry.
Let him come and see where our money goes and comes from. And there's a few others that,
Actually, it's not their job, it's the shop steward's job.
well, he needs to go.
I'm just saying, it's not the union rep's job.
I just said his name because
You usually come. Oh,
He's not a shop steward.
he usually tries to get us to pull money out of the air and it can't happen.
Well, all you can do is sit down with it and
Correct. Work at it.
work at it, yeah.
All right, anyhow, COG meeting.
I did not go. Did you get an update on what happened at the meeting? They were worried about a quorum, having a quorum because a lot of people were not going to attend because of the local events going on. She didn't email me anything, so I thought they gave a report on the COG meetings, sent it to the local townships.
Yeah, we usually get something, but I do not recall seeing anything.
Well, maybe they didn't have the meeting because they was worried about a quorum, but they would have still listened to their speaker, so.
All right, and last, the dessert reception at the fairgrounds.
It went well. Marshall and Vogel came down and helped us serve. It did not last very long. There weren't as many desserts as there normally are this year.
Could have been.
We're not sure why. We aren't sure that we got everything. We hope we did.
I don't think there was very many entries, period.
There weren't. No, I talked to Tracy. Tracy Elliott is in charge of the special baking contests.
Mm-hmm.
And there were not very many entries at all.
Yeah, there was, I think things were
3 or
down.
4 chocolate cakes,
Did 5 pies.
5 pies, and I think 1 angel food cake, I think is all they had this year. And then we get the breads and the cookies and the things like that.
We did send thank yous to those
Yeah.
that came and helped serve. So,
All right, I guess that's about it. Unless anybody has anything else to talk about for next Tuesday.
Bill?
Unless my memory fails me, I just don't know how long ago it was, but I'm thinking I remember that we went around the table as far as, I'm gonna call it like a company doctor, for the representing the township, if we have somebody off, whatever. From what it appears, I'd like to see that run back around the table again on that possibility. Is a taxpayer's request.
When, you mean like if someone's off on workman's comp?
Yes.
Does workman's comp not tell us?
Well, workers' comp gives us a list.
Okay.
But we can call workers' comp and if we have a specific doctor that we want to request be on that list, we can request that. It's up to them whether they'll do it for us or not. That's my understanding of it. But we have called in prior years and changed to doctors that were closer to us, in closer proximity to us. So we can certainly call them and ask.
Okay.
Because presently, we just are relying on the employee's individual family doctor.
No. Workman's comp has to recommend, and then you pick from that.
You pick from that list.
Has the employee that's on comp now, has he gone that route?
Yes.
We'll call it the company doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course, he don't have a doctor. He goes to Med Express normally himself, whenever he's.
So that's who's handling the present case?
I'm not real sure who's handling the present case. I'm not sure who's handling the present case right now. I can find out, you know.
I just had the understanding that we did not have, per se, a company doctor.
We do not have a personal company doctor, no. I mean, one that we picked. Is that correct?
When they go on workers' comp, they go by list, the workers' comp list. Yes.
So it is somebody
They have to go to one of those.
on the list, not a Med Express doctor.
It's no, Med Express is on the list.
Oh, okay,
That's one of them.
okay.
Okay, you're answering my questions, thank you.
Meg, do you want to bring up about that yard sale using the garage?
Yeah, but it can't be approved, but it can be discussed. The benefit committee would like to have a yard sale, and we would like to know if we could use the old township garage. We rent that out, the township rents that out as picnics. Someone wants to hold a picnic. So the benefit committee is asking, can the benefit committee use that for not a picnic, but for a yard sale? We want to have the yard sale the same day as the, same 3 days as the antique show. So therefore, 99% of the time it rains, as you well know, Bill. So we was trying to, maybe we'd keep a dry yard sale. So I'll bring that up Tuesday, but I just want everybody to think about that.
Well, they're having a yard sale.
They are having a yard
Village.
sale. Yeah,
Is having a yard sale
Yeah.
that weekend.
they are.
What is
And
the
we're
date?
going to put a table there as well.
15.
But we have so many items that we couldn't fit it at one table. So we thought we'd put the, not so much the big items, the major items, but a few nice items on the table there, and then some backup bag too. But then we'll have it announced, you know, if you want to look at other things, go down to the garage.
Yeah, because they said they're not gonna charge for the one down there.
No, if it calls for 3 days of nice weather, you know, we can just have a couple tables down there.
I think theirs is just gonna be Saturday. Whatever, Steve.
This Saturday?
No,
The Saturday of that show.
That would be
13th,
the
14th, and 15th, so that'd be the 14th.
All right. Well, I guess that's it. So we will see you all next Tuesday at 7 o'clock.
Thank you all.